everyone, my name is roar.skye and we are here with the Europe Raw Party. We have Wendy, Alana, Lila, we have Kiko, we have Chris, and we're here to party. So, hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hey, this is so nice. We've got like a lot of us. And I know that not everyone's from Europe, but it's good that there's lots of Europeans there. I like that. Well, Chris, I count you as European.
I got European heritage, but I'm a new living European.
Yeah, but you travel there lots, right?
Well, I live here full time.
Yeah. But you travel around Europe as well?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I just got back from Ireland and was in Denmark recently, and so enjoying a lot of Europe. I want to enjoy a lot more.
Yay! Okay, so this party is the kids' food party. Now, I'm all for that. If you've seen me, I am messy in the kitchen, and I love like little snacky things. I love getting into kids' books when kids' raw books that are like out there that are raw vegan. So we're all going to share what we bought, but the first person I'm gonna put up on the stage is Lila. So let's put you up and you can share. There you are.
Okay, so I don't have kids on my own, but I've always loved kids, and I have babysat kids all my life. And I know something about them, and they can be quite picky sometimes. I have noticed they always like mini pizzas. Whatever they have on top, mini pizzas are the way to go. So I made this kind of smiley. Oh my God, how do I?
Oh my gosh, look at you. Oh, I love that. You made them. You said you were going to make mini pizzas.
Yes, and they actually look a bit like Halloween pizzas, kind of creepy, but cute.
They're very cute. What's the base made of?
Well, it's really simple. I use buckwheat. I sprout this buckwheat and just blend it. That's it.
I love that. Nice and simple. And what's the sauce?
And the sauce is just sun-dried tomatoes, soaked and blended. Super simple.
Oh, it's very kid-friendly. I love that. And did it inspire you? Did you go to a party and just notice that kids were eating pizza? Did you notice that? Hang on, one sec. Did you notice that kids were just eating pizzas at parties? Is that what inspired you?
Not necessarily at parties, but any time. Yes.
That is true. And for those that are new watching, do you want to just share briefly how long you've been raw and what inspired you to go raw?
Yeah, well, I switched to a raw food diet about 5 years ago. Mainly because I wanted to clear my skin. I had acne, but also I just within 1 week, I lost my depression and anxiety disorder. So I stayed in this lifestyle, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And anyone watching, I have interviewed Lila before, and it's a great interview. So go through my channel in the long form and find it. So
Yes,
thank you. Okay, who wants to go next? I'll pick Alana. You're up. Welcome, Alana. Oh, I've muted you. That's my fault. Hang on. Oh, no, I can't hear you. No.
Should we do a voiceover for her?
Maybe.
No,
you look amazing. I'll leave you a second to try and see if you can figure out the sounds, and I'll bring someone else up. Okay, Chris, you're up. Welcome,
Hello.
Chris.
Excited to be here for the first time. I've seen a lot of these parties, and they've looked like a lot of fun.
They are. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure, absolutely. So I have here a chocolatey persimmon pudding. I don't have kids myself either, but luckily nieces and nephews. And generally speaking, I've seen kids like pudding a lot, and sometimes banana pudding squishing, but persimmons, They were just simply blended with some cacao as well as some mesquite powder, which is like a gourmet carob powder. And then I mixed in some raisins and 1 chopped persimmon. Amazingly, this bowl here is like 10 persimmons and maybe about a 1/3 cup of raisins and 1 of those persimmons chopped up. If the persimmons aren't super sweet, then you might need to add some dates, but these were actually pretty darn good, so I didn't really need to. And yeah, I think it's going to be really delicious. I'm just excited to eat it. It got really thick. Holy cow. It's like you could slice it almost like a pie. It's kind of crazy. But that's one of the things. If it's not as sweet and you need to add a lot of dates, then it can actually get extra thick.
That looks amazing. You know, I've seen a few people, I haven't actually tried it, but I've seen people do just the chocolate and the persimmons, and it's apparently like the world's best pudding, which apparently looks like the world's best pudding.
It's perfect, and it's so dang easy, and we're going into that persimmon season, so it's perfect timing for that.
Oh, you are too. I've got like another 8 months till I get there.
Oh,
but you enjoyed, yes. But I am going into summer, so that's all positive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Always different blessings, right?
Yes. Now, Chris, do you want to share a little bit about why you went raw and how it changed your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to the last story here. I was falling apart and depressed, and I was a competitive skateboarder back in the 90s, and I just progressively was falling more and more apart as I was drinking and smoking and eating double bacon cheeseburger pizzas in the late 90s. And I knew I needed something, and I found yoga, which really, really helped me a lot, calmed me down, and sparked an interest in nutrition. And then I started looking into nutrition in 1999 and found a book called Fit for Life, which blew my mind and introduced me to the concept of fruit-based eating, food combining, low fat, holistics, all that stuff. And I couldn't believe it because my mouth was just a pleasure tube for a long time. But I started applying things, and it wasn't until 2004 that I met Dr. Graham and had already been researching raw food, but couldn't quite figure it out, was in school to become a holistic nutritionist. But meeting Doug just gelled everything, kind of like this pudding. And I went raw overnight in the spring of 2004. And ever since then, I've been trying to learn and grow and share and help others on this path because it's brought me so much.
I love that. I love that you found raw and you changed many people's lives. So we love you, Chris. So thank you.
Honor and blessing, for sure. It's a powerful way to live, and a blessing not only for us, but for the planet and the animals. And it's the most compassionate, congruent, ethical way to live, I believe. So I love to share it and stoked to be enjoying it with you guys.
Yay! And that pudding just looks fantastic. I will bring Wendy up next. Let me just bring you up next. There you are. Let me unmute you. You're muted. Hang on. There you are.
Hey, hello, thank you. I just gave you a heads up because you see the spoon coming. The food will be eaten if we don't come up soon. So, okay, come. The reality is creams, and then there is this.
Oh, yum.
So she will love mango, and what we normally make, oh, you cannot see it. Like, let's cut it open, and then we make a dish out of it, which I already prepared, but I just want to do this so that she can have it.
Oh, look how excited you are.
So that is what I love about children. They just love fruits. So I'll just let her have this one. She's now 18 months and it's going pretty well with the eating herself. And what I'm eating is something else. I'm just having watermelon because I'm not feeling 100%.
Oh, thanks for coming.
But then let me see this. So this is what we will be having like for lunch. This is actually leftover from yesterday. So because I wasn't sure how I'm going to be this morning. So this is just pieces of cucumber and That's actually mango, bell pepper, and yellow tomato blended together.
Yum.
So
Is it like a soup? Is it like a soup, or is it just like? Oh no,
yeah,
it's
it's
not.
liquid. She can like use the fork to take the cucumber like that, but she also sometimes does it with her hand still, and then they spoon the rest out. And I kind of like it. It's like zucchini noodles or cucumber
Yeah.
noodles, but then this is a different texture, and it makes it easier to eat for little kids. Yeah, if you have these noodles, they go like, and they put it all over the place, and now you still have that flavor because kids' taste is still developing, right? So because the taste is still developing, they need to have the separate taste of the foods. So
Don't take the
Oh.
mango, Wendy.
yeah, I have to cut it a bit because
Like, don't take the mango.
it's an ocean mango. It's a little bit a little bit threaded. So
It looks like a good
she's
mango.
starting on a cucumber smoothie. Here.
I don't blame her.
But usually it goes really well, and yeah, we do this baby led, I don't know how it's called exactly, if you know it, where you let your baby just have meals and give fruits and then they eat themselves. I do that because now she's 18 months, and yeah, she's doing really well with her hands, with the cutlery. And she knows what she likes, what she doesn't like. Yeah.
That seems so less traumatic than like, you watch a lot of babies just not want their food and throw their food, and you're letting her lead. Like, she might want some cucumber, or she might want some mango, or she liked the mango. We know that, right?
Yes, she definitely has a preference. So if this mango is not perfectly ripe, she's like, nay, nay, like, no.
Wow. I'm a bit like that
And
too,
I'm like,
though.
oh no, please eat the thing. Like, I don't have a better one. And then later, maybe I have another. I'm like, oh, maybe this one's better. And then I cut it open and she eats the whole thing. So I think
Wow.
definitely, yeah, we're
So she's
drawn.
like a little fruit connoisseur. She's like,
Yeah, I think humans are
Yeah.
naturally designed to figure out what's the best.
100%.
So I think pureeing up like whole meals, like here you can buy these jars and they got like potatoes in it and even like meat puree, and it's just a brown mash, and you buy it and people heat it and they spoon it to their baby. I mean, this way the palate cannot really learn and explore. And yeah, I think of course there's a lot of in between, but for kids meals, I always find that when we have children over, it's so easy to make them happy. Yeah, this cucumber with dressing seems to be working really well for everybody. Just mangoes works all the time, like all year round. Just give them mango, they're happy. And when it's warm, they love the watermelon. So that's what I'm having, like, which is a seedless one, which is kind of funny because it's got seeds inside.
There's a few seeds there. I've heard parents say that they'll have like their kids' friends over, and they will get so stuck into all the fruit that's just been bought. You know who it is? It's Dulce. Dulce is like, she has all this, hey, look at you go, all of this fresh fruit. And her kids' friends come over, and it's so foreign to them because what they know of as fruit is kind of unripened, half rotten apple and bananas. That's all they've kind of seen, maybe some grapes or watermelon. And here's this abundance. And she says they when they come over, they're like, have you got all the fruit, or have you got all the food, or like really into it? And you're right, because that's what it was supposed to be like, right? People excited about fruit and fresh food.
Yeah. So kids come over, And last time I bought some long gone for me and for a friend Tineke, actually. You I think you know her. And yeah, she couldn't pick it up. So I had already bought 2 boxes for myself and 2 boxes for her. And I was looking at it like, I like long gods, but this is a bit much. Like that was 8 kilos.
But still, that's still not that much flesh, is it?
No, but if you ever ate so much long gones in like 2 or 3 days, you'll be sitting at the toilet.
Oh, no, I haven't done that. I've only done like the sparing ones when I've been in
And
Bali.
I love the taste, but you don't want to exaggerate on them. So in the end, kids came and I was like, do you want to try? Like friends came, like three different ones from Kian, and they're like, what is it? I'm like, it's like lychee. Just open it and then you can try. They were like, oh, interesting. Oh, I like it. And then I didn't have a problem getting through them because Elena loved them so much that she started to like climb the little cabinet and try to open the box and then eating them all the
Are
day.
you serious? So not only are you keeping the neighborhood's kids regular, obviously they went home and probably were very regular if you were regular, but Elena's like climbing the furniture for them.
Yeah, like she is, like Elena is. And what I like, people are freaking out. Like it's a bowl, right? It's a little bowl like this size.
Yeah.
They're like lychees for people who haven't had them. And there's a big seed inside, and it's kind of tough to get the last of the flesh out of the seed. Yeah, we had to see. And I just give it, like she just took it. She opens it. She eats it. She gives me the seeds. Like
really?
Yeah. And I might get some people complaining to me like, oh, that's dangerous. But she's been eating grapes since she was 7 months. So it's now 10 months later. By now, she knows what to do with the seed, you know?
I love hearing this. I guess I didn't think too deeply about it, but people, that would be the biggest concern, right? But it sounds like we are wired to know that the seed should not be eaten.
Yeah. And I watch her, of course, and she's very picky about peels as well. So if there's a tough skin on a mandarin or a grape, she will spit that out. And she did that not always, but she does it a lot, and also right from the beginning. So I am lucky to have a child with mouth sensories. Like she's got this sensory thing going on. I don't know, like her nerves are just adjusted to that. I'm struggling to find the words in English for that, but I think her senses just tell her, no, you cannot chew that, so you cannot swallow it, spit it out. And I get them back quite clean. Like we could have another look. Look, I will be getting back that mango quite clean.
Yeah, you will. This also reminds me, I interviewed Anne Osborne, and she actually said about her son, she would buy all this farmer's market fruit and put it out in Australia in a park, and her son would find all of the figs and wild berries, Australian wild berries, and eat all them and wouldn't touch the farmer's market. So we don't really know. It's untouched territory, right, kids and fresh food, when you give them what they were meant to eat. They know things. We're very like brainwashed by the time we find it. Blessed we found it, but like it's not the same.
Yep. And of course you have to be warned. Like I'm not letting her sit outside alone with the box, you know, like.
Of course.
I mean, I'm around, I'm looking what she's doing, and I'm also sometimes worried when she's chewing acorns right now because they're falling from the trees. Like, no, don't do that. But then I gave her chestnut. Huh?
Yeah.
It was just a tree next to it. And I show her how to peel it and eat it. And she's just like giving them to me to peel them so she can eat. She has molars now, so she can chew. but I think that's absolutely amazing. So that's what we're having, or that's what we had. The mango is finished now.
Wow, good for you, Alana. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. I will bring up now Alana and see if the microphone's working. Welcome, Alana. Oh, it's not working.
Can you hear me now?
We've got you. Yes, welcome.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I had something messed up with the settings. Yeah, so I thought I would bring today a recipe that one of my sons actually, he was kind of the mastermind behind it. We had it the other day. So it's basically a very simple banana raspberry ice cream, and he wanted to put mint on it. So that's what we made, and he really loved it. And he was very proud of adding, having the idea of putting the fresh mint on top of the ice cream. His name's Matisse. He's 7. And for those of you who don't know me, I also have twins named Marcel and Joachim, who are 6. So yeah, that was the last creation by Matisse. And I also thought I'd bring, having 3 kids, I had 3 kids in 2 years. And so it was just like super intense, like everything, having to do everything 3 times, like immediately, and being present. So I actually, when the kids were little, I did a lot of smoothies and applesauces, and I used these like squeezy things. And I just thought I would show them for people who have kids. It was just like, I know they're made out of plastic, so maybe that's not great, but it was, they were really helpful for me because it just like made having healthy solutions easier to have on hand or like on the go. And instead of like buying like squeezy pouches for applesauce that get thrown away, it was like a good alternative. So I thought I would just show those.
I love that. So you would make like a big batch of something for the 3 kids and just separate it up into each of their bottles?
Yeah, basically. And I mean, just because like my partner, he's also like, he's not vegan, and he, he supports my decisions and like focusing on raw foods. We're not totally raw. He supports that, but at the same time, like finding a solution that, worked for everyone, having, these easy like options of me preparing the food and just having it in the refrigerator was also very helpful because it, it just helped balance like the energy in the household. And yeah, the kids like, they could take their time. That way it wasn't like, oh, we have to hurry because we're going here. It was just like, okay, just, we'll just bring it with us. So it was a nice solution. And then of course my kids love mango, like just give them mango and they'll go at it just like Alana. So
I love that. Okay, and just if you'd share a little bit about how you found the raw foods.
Yeah, I grew up with a mother who was obese, had lots of health issues. She had heart disease and 3 rounds of cancer. And being her daughter, I just projected a lot of, what is my future going to be like? I yo-yoed. I had drinking and smoking, in my past. And I just like, when I had these 3 kids in 2 years, I gained a lot of weight after I stopped breastfeeding. And I just felt like, even though I was vegan, I was like, this is not like, I'm not able to lose the weight. It's really tricky. And so I decided to study with Karen Ramsey. And so I studied raw food with her, and I was able to release the weight. I was able to remediate all these other health problems that I was having by going raw. I went totally raw for 7 months, and now I'm like more raw centered. And it just like, it gave me my life back. It really gave me my life back. So I'm forever grateful to her and to all of you, everyone in the movement, because it's just very powerful stuff. And yeah, so I live in France. So veganism in France is like a very, very difficult for a lot of people to understand, especially where I live in Bordeaux. Thankfully, it's becoming, you know, more of a common thing. But yeah, the people that I work with, it's like more bringing them towards like whole food plant-based lifestyle rather than like raw. But obviously making, you know, putting the accent on raw foods and raw recipes without necessarily calling them that, without calling them raw vegan. So that's kind of like my angle at like bringing people back towards fruits and vegetables the way that we should be eating them naturally.
I love that. I think that's the most important thing, right? Is we can't get caught up in the names. It's all about bringing people back to health and whole foods. And that food looked amazing. So thank you. Okay. We have Kiko. Oh, there we are.
Hi everyone. Hi Skye and hi everyone. So good to see you guys here. I was one of my work has been canceled, so I'm very happy to be back here. And I am not European. I am Japanese, but my husband is French, and I used to live in France. So I guess I'm entitled.
You're more
to be
European than I am, then. you should be here.
Okay, so I have a big boy in my house who just turned 38, which is my husband. Okay, and he is like, well, I never had my own baby, but like my husband is really like my kid, and he doesn't like any greens, but he does eat it. But I have to be creative to encourage him to eat some greens. But okay, so fruits. He has no issues eating fruits, but
that's so cute. Is that like a little kiwi that's been turned into a tortoise or something?
Turtle, yes.
Oh my God, that's really cute. I love that. Kids would love that.
Thank you. You know, Japanese people love doing this kind of a character thing. So that's one thing. And my husband's father was a actually the turtle doctor. So that's in honor. He has passed away, unfortunately. So this is an honor for my beautiful father-in-law, and my husband approved it. So that's one. And then, so again, my husband has no issues. Like we both love eating fruits, but when it comes to eating lots of like consistent amount of greens, I have to be more creative. And this is what I made. So this is a bowl. This is actually a tea ceremony cup, matcha cup.
Ah.
Yeah, and let's see. Try not to spill over. This is chia pudding smoothies with mixed berry topping, and I have been adding greens in it. So this time I added spinach, and you really don't taste greens. Like sometimes I would add kale or komatsuna, which is the crucified veggies that we get easily here, or even mizuna, like the kind of veggie that my husband doesn't like eating alone. I started adding in my chia parfait, which is in my Namado book. If you guys have that copy, you can take a look. And yeah, the greens is amazing. You really don't taste it. It's super delicious. I also added sprouted buckwheat. And in Japan, we are very much in tune with season. I have maple tree baby maple tree in my garden, and this leaf would turn red soon. And then let's see, there's mint from my garden, and then that's topinambo. So it's sun artichoke flower. I've got a lot of sunny artichoke in my garden. So that's a flower petal that you can eat as well. And it's the same thing I just made for me. I will be bringing one for my husband. So that's it. That was it for me.
Wow. I was just thinking like how well you can get greens into these like recipes. You know, like parents always want to get greens, make sure their kids have had greens, and you've got greens going on there.
Yeah, you know, my husband, I mean, he eats well generally, but like this busy season for me, like I cannot prepare all the veggies for him. So he's vegan. He goes for junk vegan, like he goes to like ramen vegan shop or, you know, like, I don't know, curry. And then next day he always have like a pimples here and there.
Oh, really? So you're like sneaking the greens in his pudding?
And I'm thinking like, I mean, he tells me, oh, I went out to eat in this new vegan restaurant because they're popping up in Kyoto. But it always shows in his face because, you know, I don't cook anything with oil. You know, it's what I prepare is a whole food, mostly raw vegan for him. Although he's not raw vegan, he does enjoy a lot eating raw vegan. So this is my sneaky way for him to eat greens.
I love it. I'm all for that. You wouldn't know. I can tell. So, you know, you can see a few dots on his face, and in goes the kale blended in the chocolate.
Yes, and I'm gonna deliver. He's working upstairs, so I'm just gonna be back in a few minutes.
Oh, also, just before you go, will you just quickly tell people what drew you to raw foods?
So over 21 years ago, I started fully raw. 21 years ago, I gradually started to include raw vegan meals because I was having severe case of eczema and ovarian cyst. I had surgery and rupture, and I didn't realize, but I was quite depressed at that time. I was living in New York, and everyone seemed to be depressed there, so it seemed normal. So when I changed the diet gradually and fully experienced it 21 years ago, September, you know, I felt like I was in paradise. So I've been addicted to that great feeling. So there I am.
It is a great feeling. It is a great feeling. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, let's bring me up. Hey everybody, I am Skye and I love hosting these parties because there's so many amazing people all over the world. And tonight is Europe, and there's lots of people in the comments, so thanks for coming. And I love this theme of kids. I love kids. I don't have my own kids, but like I have my nieces and I get them to eat my food and they like it, especially the sweet stuff. So I bought, if you followed on my channel, I made some chocolate fudge, and this is like my chocolate truffle recipe, but just my food processor isn't working, so we blended it. It was a bit messy, but lots of fun. And I made some of these. My nieces have tested it. My sister loves it. So it's definitely kid friendly. If you do not want the cacao, you just use carob. And yeah, that's what I bought tonight. And I found raw foods 4 years ago. It completely transformed my life. I was just chronically sick. I was, I think not just getting my physical health, but more than my mental health. I got my soul. I feel like I finally felt my soul. And I think that's what's so amazing about raw foods. And I will preach about raw foods just like everyone here because it's made such an impact on our lives. So let's all connect on here since we've all shared our food. And yeah, so I was first off going to bring up the topic of I never knew that veganism or raw veganism was such a rarity in Europe.
Are you making reference to my comment about France?
or just saying that like it's not something common, or like I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
Or even Kiko has said it before. Kiko has said it before as
In
well.
Paris, no, in Paris there are so many vegan restaurants, but outside of Paris, it's challenging.
And that's actually a recent thing, because when I moved to France in 1999, there was like nothing, and I was vegetarian at that point. And people looked at me like I was an alien. Like, what? They're like, what do you eat? I was like, well, and unfortunately I was eating a lot of cheese at that point because I had blinders on, but it is what it is. But now you're right, Kiko, there are a lot of like vegan restaurants. There's even a really popular bakery that's kind of spread everywhere called Land and Monkeys. And it's really great that it's vegan, but it is like, when you look at the recipes, they're all pretty high fat, like a lot of oil, a lot of processed like fake meats and cheeses. So, I mean, I think it's great for people to have an alternative, but I'd like to see a little bit more whole foods, plant-based places. I know that they're there, but I feel like the ones that are having the most success are kind of more the fast food type places, but maybe it's just my vision of things.
No, it's true. Like Land and Monkey, the head, it's a couple of Japanese wife and French men. So the Land and Monkey actually exists in Tokyo as well. Mm-hmm. My husband loves that, and I used to live very close to that, the original Land and Monkey. So 11e arrondissement is French Mecca, they used to call it. It's like so many great vegan choices, but Alana is correct. It's very unhealthy. It's a lot of, they have gluten-free options, but it's not a healthy version of gluten-free. They do have one raw vegan restaurant in Paris.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There used to be two. There was one that I loved, and the last time I was in Paris, I wanted to go to it. I think it was Sweet Romance, and they shut it down. I was so bummed. They made like the best, like huge salads. Yeah. Mm. And then there's like, what is it? 42 degrés, 42 degrees, which is a really nice restaurant.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's the one that I went to. It's very like high. Like it's like
gourmet raw.
Yeah, like elegant, the high, expensive one.
Yeah.
What sort of things do they serve at this restaurant? Sorry, Chris.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, what did you say?
What sort of things do they serve at this restaurant?
I actually had my birthday party there a couple of years ago. It was like a birthday brunch. And so it was like, at that point they had like basically a buffet. They had fruit salads, and they had like the raw vegan cheeses, and they had raw vegan crackers, and then they had all sorts of different salads. I thought it was really yummy. A lot of people, like my friends, enjoyed it. They didn't pay attention to food combining at all, which is, I mean, totally fine. And I think a lot of restaurants are like that. And things like, there were a lot of very elaborate recipes. Like, there were not, just kind of simple dishes, but it was, the presentation is really nice. The flavors are really nice. Just kind of, a little bit of everything. But I'd say like a lot of people are intrigued by the raw vegan cheeses, especially being in France. Like, French people love their cheese. So having that option is like, what is this? And they're like, why do you call it cheese? But it's good. So
that's good. That sounds fun.
Yeah. We didn't but that's not in Bordeaux, huh?
That's in Paris. But there's a restaurant. If you ever come to Bordeaux, well, obviously come see me first. But there's it's called Bistro Bistro Vegetarian Bistro, something like that. There's a bistro that I went to recently, and they had an amazing array of like raw vegan dishes. I'm very impressed. Like, it's not all raw vegan, but they did a great job. They do.
And there are French vegan people. I was in Montenegro for a holiday one time, and I was at that time like fully raw, but Johan, my partner at the time, was like, adding some cooked chickpeas to every salad and stuff like that. So he wanted to have a feast for his birthday, and we went to the restaurant to ask if they can make one. And the chef says, and they just have like the regular French mountain menu, the Savoie menu, when you go skiing, they have like the potatoes and the oil in the pan and things like that. And he said, well, actually, the chef, the owner, I am vegan and I'm happy to make you a meal. What would you like? So
oh my gosh.
Some raw dishes and some cooked dishes. And we got 50 different small plates with hot things and raw things. We got it in 3 courses, and it was amazing. So it was the 3 of us, and we were like, wow, we are in a Michelin star restaurant at the time. And the guy is just running this tiny little restaurant in a mountain ski village where there's just tourists wanting fries and these hot ski dishes. So I was really surprised with that. There are really good chefs out there.
Yeah.
But when I was living in Montauban, it was so different. In Montauban, we couldn't even buy ripe fruits, like from November till March. I even had to like hand pick the apples from the pile to not have extreme teeth pain, and oranges would be there, but it's not like they were just picked. Like, we're just on the border of Spain, and it just didn't seem to bring the food there. And now they should have these awesome mangoes that we have here. They're from Spain. They should have them in Toulouse and Montauban. But I went there and I even bought like expensive ones. So, like the picked ripe one. And even those were so unedible. So that was, for me, it was really tough because Montauban is a big city. It's close to Toulouse. We went to Toulouse. We went to like all different kind of markets and like Turkish stores and, like different fruit places. It was really tough compared to Spain, where, well, local people don't seem to understand not eating animals at all. Like, the word vegan or vegetarian doesn't ring a bell. But the supermarket was like full of options. Like, if you want to have tortilla, a very Spanish dish, there is always the vegan version, which just doesn't have egg in it. It's just potatoes and onion. So, and I know that because Eric and Kian love that. So I was like, oh, let's go get one of those potato things. So I find it very different on the country. And in Belgium, in Brussels, there's even 2 raw vegan restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's none in Australia. So.
Oh, really?
I'm doing well. Yeah. So when I first went raw, I had a little explore around Australia. And there was some in Sydney, and then they were closed. I think COVID, the last of them, closed. But when even I connected to people in different states, they're like, oh, there was this one. And Freely's like, oh, there was this one, but now it's gone. And then down in Melbourne, people are like, yeah, there was this one gone. So there is none.
Oh.
Australia's I've been kind of traveling Europe a little bit more and more since 2015. And when I first came out here, there was a lot more raw food restaurants. And even here in Malmo, there was 2 or 3 that did shut down. But I also find that the awareness is totally different based on country and cultural kind of dishes and stuff like that. And there's a lot of countries that are really, really huge on their produce and like really emphatic about like getting the best quality produce ever. but not necessarily on the veganism. But I was really one of the things that really kind of wowed me when I first came to Sweden in 2015 was there was like an entire vegan grocery store back at that time, and even like a regular grocery store, which is ICA, which is a popular grocery store, but they had one that was known as the vegan ICA, where they have like an entire section with signs that say vegan across it and vegan all over. And so I got out here in Sweden, it's bigger than some places. But, you know, I was just in Ireland recently, and I actually got like booed at and like harassed a little bit for being raw vegan and like made fun of. It definitely wasn't as vegan friendly there compared to some other countries. But it really seems interdependent upon so many factors, you know, like the culture, the size of the city, and all those different things. But it's I think veganism is rising up a little bit more than raw vegan in a lot of places. Although it seems veganism is a little bit on a slight decline right now, is what I'm seeing anyway.
Yeah, I find with the vegan thing, well, I think a lot of people like have a lot of respect for the raw vegan thing just because I healed myself. But it's nice to hear when I say I'm vegan and you hear people say, oh, you're amazing, or congratulations, or good for you, as in like they see the effort that it actually takes a person to make the change in the world that we live in, which is always nice. But jumping to Australia here, we actually have a very, very healthy, there's literally every shop will have juices. Every shop that sells food makes fresh juice here, like just by the beach. Everyone, like coffee shops or whatever, like that level. And when you go into supermarkets, most of the food only has like a couple of ingredients. It's not very processed. But when it comes to raw veganism, it's like not really existent in Australia, not known. People like, what's that? It's not something they serve. It's not like there's any restaurants still open. But veganism is obviously like the whole food thing is you cannot go to a restaurant without there being vegan options or saying you're vegan and getting something, which is good, which is positive, right?
Yeah.
Interestingly, the best place for me to go has been like you guys know Sizzler, like a steak house.
Yes.
That used to be my go-to places because they had like if I go to vegan restaurants, they usually serve like vegan, highly processed and like deep fried stuff. So, but if I go to this Sizzler or like this kind of chain place, they have a salad bar with the fruit also along with fruit bar. So yeah, if I have to meet with my friends, I used to go there. And now I have my cafe, so I ask people to come to my cafe, or I prepare my meal when my friend comes, and so
I love that. That's smart. Just have your own cafe. It's like, guys, I'm here. I think that's a great idea. But yeah, when I went to America, Mum always took, when I was in Hawaii with Mum always organized for me to go to restaurants that had a salad bar. Because in America, that's quite common. In Australia, it's not as common. Like all restaurants have salad options, but you just go, and not that like it was the best, but it was better than like it was. You could have as much as you wanted.
Yeah, surprisingly, in France, I really thought that France would be easy being vegan because they usually have a very simple meals. But I like once you step out of Paris, like I've been told so many times that everything is mixed with some like milk products or like it's always something mixed. Here in Japan, it's always mixed with like fish broth. So yeah, I gave up. It's just much easier to bring my own food and maybe order herb tea if they have it, or some juice. So
you said it's hard in Japan, right? It is hard for you in Japan to go to a restaurant and get.
Yeah, it's hard, and I mean you have to know, and Yeah, I mean, I now with my work, like as a tour guide, I take my clients and my clients pay for my meals, but there's like absolutely nothing, interesting. There's sometimes food, like more whole food, plant-based, just happen to be vegan dishes, but I just feel so much better with what I prepare. So I always prepare, and my clients always say, "Oh my God, where did you get that? Can we order that?" It's like, yeah, I don't have time, but yeah,
Come to the cafe.
they say that
Yeah,
next time.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
here. If you want to see me, I'm here.
It's funny, right? It's like that's one of the reasons and ways raw food is so much easier than veganism, because you just go to a grocery store and get food. Like you don't have to worry about what's in the recipes or in the ingredients. And I'll be honest, for myself anyway, I don't really know any experience I've been at a restaurant, raw or otherwise, that I genuinely enjoyed it more than like just an amazing fruit meal. At least for me, like I don't love going out. I go out for other people, to be honest, just to be with them and community. But I'd rather eat at home or outside or at the farmer's market myself every single time, 90% of the time. Sorry to say that, Kiko. I know you have a cafe, and I definitely will come to your cafe when I come to Japan. But
No,
I just
I
love
totally.
the farmer's market.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that I honestly, I do not enjoy eating out because it's just, I agree. And I will cater to your liking, Chris, when you get here. I'll just give you a persimmon, like lots of
Oh,
persimmon.
no. Please don't get me wrong. I do enjoy a great dish. I usually I'm a chef too. I love to make food, but even the best of the best, I find like pales compared to the creator. Like I think they just the best chef there is. And I've had amazing raw food, and I love it. I absolutely do love it. But it was like 9 times out of 10, I'd rather take Mother Nature chef, than any other chef in the world.
I cannot agree more. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Varieties.
I truly have, like, I've tried a couple of restaurants now, and the only one that felt for me that was, and I feel bad saying this, but it was not, it just, the whole reason, I think as a raw foodist, you get to a point where it's not just about the meal. If you walk away and feel any little bit like not well or, off kilter, it's not a good meal. That it's in, a lot of people go out to restaurants and it's all about just that stimulation from the food, whereas we love it because we love to, raw foodists, we love to pick it from the farmer's market, we love to bring it home, we love to put it out, we love to be in the sun, enjoy it, but afterwards, the reason we are raw is you feel so incredible, and not many restaurants do you walk away from feeling incredible, and that's how I judge a good food. And wild living foods, like I didn't have a lot of the dehydrated stuff, just the I loved the nori, and I was having a lot of coconut water, and that was nice to have the experience. Like I miss the fact that the experience. This is why I do these parties, and why, and probably many of us create recipes, is there's experiences we miss, but you want the experience to still encompass that you walk away from a raw food party, or your raw food bundle, or your restaurant, and you want to feel good. And that to me is a good judge of if a restaurant is good, which I never thought about before becoming a raw foodist.
Reminds me of the just the Thanksgiving naps. Like I remember as a child, comatose. Like, oh, let's all get together and have a great time. Let's eat until we want to vomit, and then lay in the living room and pass out for hours. I'm like, okay. It's strange how there's this total just the way I was brought up. It was like having a good time is getting together with family, eating tons of food, and then I remember having to unbutton my pants and being like, okay, now we're just gonna sit in the living room and watch the TV and fall asleep. And I'm not disrespecting my family, because that's what they were taught to do as well, and I love them dearly. But yeah, there is that whole culture of just congregating around food and having that numb feeling, which is kind of it's strange, like confronting that.
Yeah. I mean, when I first went out for a restaurant lunch, when I first got well and I'd been raw, and my guide of being raw was how good I was going to feel. And you're very present. So you go from being where I had been so sick and medicated, and you get to a restaurant, you have a glass of wine and possibly at the end a coffee, you are very present. And what was so apparent when I just had my salad and green juice, and people always have multiple courses, and then sometimes there's a cake to celebrate some event, is when we left, and this happened a few times, is I was like, oh my God, I've got all afternoon now, which felt weird, because usually even if you go out for lunch, your plan is you're not moving from the television, you napping. I mean, I was already mostly sick, so I wasn't doing anything for a couple of days if I got up for a restaurant. But here's me, and I'm like, well, what can I do for the next 8 hours before I go to bed? And everyone's loosening their pants. I'm so stuffed. And it was all negative. It was all like, I'm just going to go to sleep. Got my pants. I'm so full, gassy. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And that to me is like why I do raw. And that's what you tell people, is that's why we do it. It's not for that one moment of the pork meal or the dense vegan meal. You do it because you get to leave and have 8 more hours in your day.
Yeah, and that's why I think I continue doing my pop-up like once a week, even though it's a lot of work. Like it's so nice to see people coming into my cafe, like not knowing what it is. Like I have no idea. Most people don't even know this is vegan, or left alone this is not heated above certain degree. But they eat. A lot of people actually can't finish my meal, so they ask me to pack it away, and they say, well, I feel so full, but I don't feel heavy. And it was so good, but because they are not used to eating so much fiber, like they always tell me how good they feel, but at the same time very satiated. And that is like, I know that it's very difficult to get in a restaurant setting. So yeah, just once a week, just at one afternoon when I can, I try to show up.
That's awesome.
The world is grateful.
Thank you.
The world is grateful that you show up. Okay, so
recipes. Sorry, I was just curious what your favorite are to serve at your pop-up.
I didn't hear.
Oh, what are your favorite recipes that you like to serve at the pop-up? Or what do people like the most?
Most of it is shared in my book, Namado. And recently, in one of the Europe raw party, Lila, who just left, she's an amazing recipe creator. She shared that coconut wrap. Like I knew that you can do coconut wrap, but I think I was avoiding it because of the saturated fat. But yeah, I just make it with curry flavor. Like she had an Asian flavor to it, and yeah, I make a spring roll with frozen veggie, candleize it. Yeah, that's how it's called.
Well, I just missed all that. You candleize it, and then Chris is dancing. What's happened here? What do you mean candleize?
That freezing technique has been invented. Not invented, but like popularized by Chris. Chris candleize.
Yes, I mentioned I just didn't know what does candleize it mean.
I never gave it that name, but Lissa and Dr. Rick and Karen Dina, they're together making food and utilizing that technique, and they named it themselves. Said we should honor Chris in some way to share that he had some role in popularizing this, and so they actually named it candleizing it, and then they wrote me saying, Dr. Rick is saying that we should all call it candleizing, and we're going to do it to the last day on Earth, So yeah, it's been spreading around a little bit. I'm thinking about making a song out of it, you know, like the Bob Marley Legalize It, but change it to Kendalize It. Make a lyric for it. That might be.
It's fantastic. Like for that spring roll, I like adding cabbage shreds, and if I just eat, like, you know, if I were to put the carrot, it's kind of, it takes up a lot of space. But if I freeze it and thaw, and I can just marinate it easily, it really tastes like cooked, and a lot of people love that texture, like more softer. And
Chris, can you explain the Kendalization to people watching? What it actually is? Because yeah.
It's really as simple as taking different types of produce. Some work better than others, and you can just throw it right in the freezer, but sometimes you want to prep it in the way that you want it cut or prepared, and just throw it in the freezer. And you generally want to freeze it at least 12 hours, up to 24 plus. And what happens is the water content in the veggie itself expands, and that ruptures some of the fibers and makes it softer, and actually makes it more bioavailable and easier to digest in many cases too. So some of the ones that I like to do the most, like I started doing it mostly with cauliflower, and then started playing with, well, also cabbage, because I originally found it doing it for cabbage rolls, like freeze entire heads of cabbage, and then I just take them out of the freezer and run warm water and take one leaf off at a time, and it makes really pliable, perfect cabbage rolls. But it works really well with fresh cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, mushrooms. Actually, they taste stewed when you do it. Onions, if you chop them up, then it seems almost like sauteed milder onions. You can make your own fresh sauerkraut, kind of like Kiko was mentioning, like just thinly slicing cabbage and freeze it thawed, put a little bit of lemon or lime, you know, some herb on it, and it's like really soft. And you can add those noodles to anything, right? So it's a lot of different ingredients. I actually even do that too with you know, some sprouts if I want them to seem a little bit more kind of cooked and a little less crunchy. So I sometimes do that with lentil sprouts or chickpea sprouts or anything like that. But it's lots of fun. It can add a lot more variety and different textures and nostalgic kind of flavors and textures to chilies and stews and curries and soups, and you know, corn and peas. All those things work really well as well. There's a, you know, sky's the limit. You know, sky's the limit, Skye.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say off the back of that, this Kendalization is just another technique where when somebody says to me, oh, I can't do raw because of A, B, and C, I swear the universe has created it raw in some way, whether it's slightly warmed in a dehydrator, slightly warmed in a Vitamix, you Kendalize, like you freeze it and defrost it, or there's nothing someone hasn't thrown at me that can't be done raw. And I just think like, yeah, I think about that a lot, actually. That's why I love raw foods, because the sky's the limit.
It is. So it is. Oh, peppers. I was thinking that too, because all of a sudden I was thinking like chimichangas and stuff. Like you can have onions and peppers and cabbage and slice them all up and make a nice sauce and wrap them in something and have, you know, the sky's the limit. Sure, unfried.
How did you discover it? Because I know I did. I think it was my first bundle. For some reason, I think I did some rolls in it that were already, like, the leaf was frozen, but only because I'd seen other people do it that weren't raw. How did you discover all the freezing?
You know, I was just playing around and utilizing just fun in the kitchen, you know, and I do think I need to look back at when I posted it, but it would have probably been somewhere around 2013 or something like that I made a cabbage roll recipe. I'd have to look. And that was the first time that I really played with it. And then after just thinking about it from doing that with the cabbage, I started toying around with different vegetables and then just started making recipe videos and sharing a little bit about it. But it wasn't like there wasn't like a aha moment that all of a sudden sparked wide creativity. It was kind of like I did that, then I thought about it, and it slowly kind of evolved and became something I did a lot more often. And once I started doing it with like cauliflower and stuff like that for curries and chilies, then I was like, okay, I got to do more, and just keep keep sharing it.
It helps a lot. Like I do freeze broccoli. Like I don't like raw broccoli, but when I freeze them and put them in my green smoothies, so like the dish I made that was the chocolate smoothie, chocolate chia smooth parfait, I add broccoli as well, and it becomes so much milder, and you really can't tell. Like my husband would never know. Like he never questioned what's in it. Like he thinks that it's just, dates, dates, cacao, and chia. That's it.
I love it. Sneaking in
Best. You know, I admit I was fibbing. I just checked out my cabbage roll, and I'm pretty sure that was the first recipe I made where I used that, and I talk about it in here. But that would have been in 2017. So around then is when I started doing it more, and then experimenting with more and more recipes and sharing it, and yeah.
Have you experimented with like marinating and then freezing, or like have you tried different combinations of like with the different sauces?
I know I have a lot more. I'll admit I'm just so dang lazy. Once I freeze it, I'm like, that's good.
You're like simple.
Yeah, but I mean, I have
done some things, right?
Sorry.
Liz has done some things like she freezes and then marinates, and then she freezes chickpeas and all sorts of things. She's Kendallizing lots of things out there.
Absolutely, and I've definitely done that. Like freeze, and like for example with cauliflower, like you can rice it, and then I've froze it, thawed it, and then squeezed some of the liquid out, and then marinate it so it soaks it back in a little bit.
Okay.
But most of the time I just freeze it, thaw it, and then throw it in a sauce because I'm pretty darn lazy. But it is kind of fun because one of the things that one of the other recipes that really shifted for me was making like wings. Because I used to just take raw cauliflower bunches and coat them in a sauce and dehydrate them. But then when I decided to just freeze the cauliflower first, take it out while it's frozen, put the sauce on it while it's frozen, the sauce sticks to it more when it's frozen, and then you throw it in the dehydrator. It actually makes like a juicy, soft cauliflower bite kind of thing, which mind-blowing. And you can do it with mushrooms too, and have like sauteed mushrooms, so many different things. But it's a game changer for some of those kind of recipes too.
I love that. I was like, I'm going to go do that. I probably won't do that till next winter. I seem to do like what I call salad toppers when it's like winter. And when I go into summer, it's more like fresh food just because it's so abundant. But that sounds incredible. See, guys, everyone listening, if there's something that you want that is not raw, you probably can make it raw. You would be able to make it raw. All is possible. I was going to ask, what are all of your favorite, like each person tell me your favorite hack for raw food creating. I'm assuming Chris's might be Kendallization, but Kiko, what's your favorite like hack to like when you're creating your recipes? Or is it putting broccoli in the cacao smoothies?
It really has been, recently it has been really how to sneak all the greens in everything I eat. Honestly, I mean, because it's so easy. I don't know. I go through phases, but I do notice that when I eat more, when I up my greens, I do feel much better. And with this job that I'm doing, right, there's like a whole day guiding work. It's very intense. Some clients would say, I shared it with Skye, some clients, they're like much older, so they don't need to eat that much. They say, well, they do eat a lot, big breakfast and dinner, so they like to skip lunch. But I mean, what I eat the most, like it's when the sun is out. So I don't care if who I am with, I'm gonna eat, during the sun is up. So yeah, on the go, I always have green smoothies that on a big container, and the dates parfait that I showed. That's super easy, and I can just drink it on the go, and not to be just too heavy on the fruit, sweet fruit size. it just, yeah, it seems to feel, I seem to feel better. For the cafe, I work on my presentation, so I always try to add something from my garden, like just like I did, and that help people to get really excited, because most people don't have like they don't want to be bothered doing gardening, so they get excited that it's coming from someone, that I am actually doing it, and there's no pesticides. I live in a mountain too, so that's a nice story to add. So those are the two things that I try to.
I like that you're creating little gardens on their food.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Okay, Chris, what is your favorite hack?
Well, I think yeah, the candleizing is definitely one for sure. And as Kiko said too, actually just hiding greens and putting more greens into dishes. Apologies to be boring, repeating, but those are definitely the two biggest ones. I do like to, for example, like if I'm making a curry and it just has cauliflower and some partially dehydrated mushrooms, which is another hack. I like to use the dehydrator to just partially dehydrate, not always fully dehydrate. So I might just slice my mushrooms and throw them in there for 45 to an hour, 15, 20 minutes. And they just get a little bit kind of softened. I like that a lot. But if I'm making my curry sauce, I might, pulse in 100 to 200 grams of arugula or cilantro or anything like that, which, gets the salad right into the sauce as well. And I used to make a lot of stews. I haven't done that as much, but I used to make a lot of stews where, for example, I'd chop up like zucchini and tomatoes and, maybe another ingredient, some cauliflower, and make a mango tomato sauce. And I just pulse in like crazy amounts of like spinach, arugula, and cilantro, so that the whole salad is like pushed right into the dish. And then instead of it being like a salad this big, it's a stew this big that's like concentrated flavor. So very similar to Kiko, just like finding ways to get more greens and more density in there. And the candleizing helps that too, to get some dense veggies that otherwise I wouldn't eat in those big quantities.
Yeah. I think Alana's going to go soon. So I was going to say thank you so much for coming. Did you want to before you go, tell us your favorite hack?
Sure. Kind of bouncing off of Kiko and Chris's hacks. With my kids, I noticed that the greens, I can like hide the greens in smoothies and dishes with like wild blueberries. I feel like the wild blueberry kind of like that flavor just like works really well with greens. And then the color, like you always have that vibrant blue. So that would be my hack for kids, like to bring it back to the kids' raw vegan party theme. That's very helpful. Like the wild blueberries help kind of hide the greens when they're not wanting greens.
I like that. So the kids don't know because the blue's so bright.
Exactly. And just the taste, like it just tends to work well.
You guys do know if I ever meet you and eat any of your recipes, I'm going to be very suspect as to what is actually in the dish. How many greens have you guys actually got in here? It looks good, but it is green.
It's called, we have to come up with a cooking book called Dishonest Cooking. Uncooking.
Oh, I love that. We've got, we can candleize it and just get it in there. And then we've got colors going over it. And Kiko's little garden on top. She distracts her husband by doing little turtles.
Dishonest Uncooking, How to Hide Your Greens.
I love it.
I love that title, Alana. Really.
It'll be
It's
so
a good one.
So thank you so much, Alana. We've loved you coming. I hope you come next month.
I would love to come.
Yay!
It was so nice, Alana. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it was nice to see you all. Kiko, Wendy, Chris, Skye. I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye. So I was going to jump back to Chris and say so the raw bundle is so worth getting when it comes out and being part of, because you learn so much. When I had your book, I learned about candleizing, but I also noticed in the stews book, it's nice to see how other people do it, but how much you do use the food processor to get all of that density down. Like, and you were saying, I think, I don't know whether it was in a live or something, but how I think that it's not just that. Oh, what was I going to say? It wasn't just the volume; it was something else. I can't remember now. But anyway, I liked that technique. I'd never thought of it before. Is like pulsing it all. You pulsed a lot through the food processor, and I get up there and chop. But you're right. You're like, well, I guess that's what happens. Motivates you if you're like, oh, I'm lazy in the kitchen. Well, you come up with brilliant ideas like that.
Anything to make it quicker and easier and even more flavorful. I like to try and spend a little less time in the kitchen and less time chewing when I can. And when I feel like spending more time in the kitchen or chewing more, then I like to do that too. But a lot of the times, kind of like you mentioned, Skye, like I'm doing this to live, and there's that difference between eating to live and living to eat. And, there's a place for all of it, I suppose. But when it's fresh and vibrant, often it leads to just wanting to be out and jumping and having fun or, whatever you want to do.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Wendy, what is your favorite hack for creating recipes or being a mum, or like what is your go-to hack for raw foods?
Well, I don't really know that if I have a hack. The thing is that when I started, I just wanted to, for fun, try to create the same kind of flavors and recipes that I did with cooked food or processed things from the supermarket. Like, I kind of like borrow them, like in Germany, you have these pots with sunflower seed spread, and they're not baked. So the sunflower is really like when you blend it, like it's white. It tastes also sunflower, not oil. And then they have this whole shelf full of varieties. I used to buy that, like sneaklauk, which is like chives, and like garlic herb flavor, and all these kind of flavors. So what I did is I just look at the ingredients. Okay, should taste like that. And then I would just start experimenting with these flavors. And yeah, I just add something more of this, add something more of that. For me, it's like a painting. You just take something and you look if it gets pretty, you taste if it tastes good. If it doesn't taste good, add something more of one or the other. And that's how I come up with things. And that's also why I never eat exactly the same, except when it comes to whole fruits or my tomato, bell pepper dressing.
But they don't even taste the same. So like that's the difference, right? Is when your brain got conditioned to have a certain brand of ketchup, and you see people like, I only like this brand, I don't like any others. It's literally an exact chemical replica every time. And when you eat raw, you never do the same twice. Like you can say I love a monomeal of bananas, but no two bananas ever taste the same. And that is exciting in itself.
Yeah. So my hack for everybody would be like, take the flavors that you like, check what it's if you cannot taste what it's inside, check what's inside, and just start playing with those ingredients to get the flavor that you want. And there is a little secret to recipe making, though, a big secret. You just have to add something sour, add something fat, and add something sweet.
True. And then you can take it into another layer and add a bit of spice.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And then when dressings fail, let's say I want salad dressing and it really fails, you just take half of it, throw in a garlic and onion, and everything tastes better. And people
you've heard it here first, and that's not a bad way of fixing things.
I mean, it's not bad, but it creates that, you have that extra sulfur flavor to it, and it creates extra spice. And yeah, so I try to make my recipes without garlic and onion, like all of them without. And then, well, when it's not like I want, okay, I'll try with onion. But you have to visualize it and taste it in your mouth before you add it to the blender. So you have to like imagine what it would become before you put it in the blender. And I think that's the trick. It's like you already see the painting or a piece of furniture before you start chopping the wood and putting screws in. You have to have like a vision of what you want to create. And I think that's really important for people that struggle with making food.
Yeah, that never happened to me until I went raw, and I always figured it was because there was no free energy. Like, I say free energy, but like when I went raw, there's all this free energy in my brain to do extra things that I never would do before. And one of those was literally almost my brain could taste things before I created them. I was always so sick, or it's like, what stimulation can I have now, or distraction can I have now? Now my brain's like, what can I experience? What can I create? And it is like that is before you create the sauce, is in my mind, I'm like, carrot, tomato, mango, and a bit of basil, and I'm going to mix this together, and I can already taste it. And if I start to go, ooh, like I'm like, okay, I've done something wrong, and I recalculate in my head, but I could not do that before I started eating raw. I didn't have the free energy, like the extra energy.
Oh yeah, I did have that actually with cooked food as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just went to this like Michelin star restaurant, and oh wow, that's like fried bell pepper with corn on it. What's that? What's that special herb they added? Oh, that's
Oh,
thyme.
wow.
I'm gonna make that, and I would just go home and ask them, "Do you fry it like in coconut or something else?" And they'd be, "Yeah, it's coconut." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I can do this." And then I would go home and I'd just do it. But they wouldn't say how it was made. I would just taste it, and okay, maybe some things that I don't know, I would just double check, like, is this the herbs? Yeah. And then I next day I just made it at home, and this is like 20
And
years
you never
ago.
went back to the Michelin star restaurant again. The end.
I did not go back there, but that was more due to finances. I mean, it's like a few hundred per person, but we got it. Like it was like a special thing, you know. It's not something you want to do often, but it are some of the most creative chefs, they say, at the time. So yeah. And then I thought it would be funny to create that same kind of bell pepper corn covered thing raw. And, you know, you just blend the corn, you put in your thyme, you take your bell peppers and you put it in the dehydrator. Like, that's how it goes. And actually it tastes way better. So, yeah.
I think for me,
Alana agrees.
That wanted to mention again was how she mentioned about playing, you know, like that she's playing with her recipes. And I think for people that are new, that's a huge revelation, you know, to like have fun with it and play with it and not take it super serious. And any one recipe you don't have to repeat, but if you play with it and find something you love, it can be a new staple. You know, and, a shameless moment too. A quick hack is to piggyback on the back of people who've been doing this, you know, so all of us here that have been in the chats or have been in the show here, so that's a hack to, you know, dive into the culinary tastes and preferences and recipes that all the different people, you know, that are putting out books do, so you can get inspiration from other people as well.
Yeah.
Shame.
Just off the back of that, Chris, how important do you think recipes are for newbies that are coming into this?
I think they're really helpful and important for newbies and people doing it for a long time, because, you know, different people at different stages, different seasons, you know, different realities with what they're going through may be craving completely different things. And, you know, everyone has their own kind of favorite flavors and ways they do things. So you can get used to one thing, but somebody else may have a completely different palate and view and technique that you haven't explored yet. And I think having options for every kind of season, not only the seasons that we go through, but our own seasons in our life, can be incredibly beneficial and helpful, because you just might want a little more entertainment, or you might want a little more variety, or you might want something to share with others, or you might want something for that special occasion or that devastation that isn't just bananas. And I think it's invaluable, because everyone brings their own personality to their recipes and their own palate. So I think it's just a powerful, helpful thing for people new to the diet, or doing it for a long time. And while I said before, like I don't remember a recipe I've had that is better than the peak Mother Nature's offerings, I've still had a lot of amazing recipes that at different times, sometimes that's just dinner time, I really, really want it and enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. And thank you for sharing that, because I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, I think, yes, Mother Nature, like I could go all day just picking at fresh food. I can just pick some celery, have a banana. Well, I don't usually have bananas, but mangoes. But then I think, and by the afternoon, like today I made these, like I'll have a couple of these, but predominantly, I have I can do it fresh, and that's all fine. But it is a little bit of excitement and a little bit of fun getting in the kitchen. Like it's a bit of a hobby.
Yeah. Well, I think all of it can have its perfect time and place. And like I've met many people over the years and coached people and talked to different people doing this for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And it isn't uncommon for people to get to a place where they're like, you know what, I just want to eat fruits as they are and vegetables and really simple. But then over the months and years and decades later, you usually see people kind of go through those stages where they're like, they want simplicity and to let it for a while, but then they also want to dive into culinary experiences and things to share and different flavors and textures. And, I think often we think that life can be static, and we find like, this is it, I found the perfect bit. But life has a way of kind of showing us like, hey, it's not always static. There's room for change and exploration. The entertainment and all those aspects of a great place, I think, raw food lifestyle over the long term.
That also, to me, feeds into that idea, and I've mentioned, I thought I even got caught up in the idea that when I first went raw, that you're just going to keep elevating to a point where I think even in the back of my head, breatharian, like not that I ever actually thought I'd become breatharian, but you just want to, I was just like, you go lighter and lighter. But what I found is I am so much more balanced with knowledge that at different times, like go to Bali and just have tropical fruit, come back here, it's the middle of winter, marinate some mushrooms on a salad, like have the knowledge of all the different ways to do it so that I feel my best on earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Being grounded by all those different options and finding how they really fit you in different places and times, right? And enjoy all of it. I think that is slowly refined, because the more you do things, just like you said, we're doing this so that we feel amazing, and so that can refine your choice. Sometimes, you might find, oh, this recipe doesn't feel quite as good, but you know what? Sometimes that's actually how I want to feel, and maybe that's something we'll leave behind at some point, and maybe not. All of it is great.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I never thought of it like that before. I'm actually choosing a feeling, and that feeds into my hacks. So I'm coming off the back of winter, but I know many people are going into winter, and I start getting the comments, I can't do this in winter. And when it hits, so I'm going into spring, summer, all I can think of is light stuff. I know that I share salad recipes most of the time, but I shared a bit of chocolate today. But most of my brain right now thinks about, oh my God, there's mangoes coming. Oh my God, the greens are so glowing at the moment. What fruit comes next? Cherries are coming. But it's come off the back of it. That'll happen. It'll go even lighter, where I can go a few days just grapes. Like that's grapes, maybe a few handfuls of greens by the end of, getting into autumn or fall. Once it hits the end of fall, my brain, and this goes into like the hack, is it wants salads. Sometimes it'll do soups, but it wants the feeling, I think. I'll make my 3-ingredient bread, and I'll have like my salad with a bread roll, or I'll have my salad topped with some marinated mushrooms. or some marinated vegetables. Like it'll want something denser. And maybe in summer or spring, it wouldn't make me feel optimal, but it does make me feel warmed in some way through winter. And as soon as spring comes again, that stops. So it really is, that's a great hack for anybody who says, you know, I can't do this in winter, is I still have like my salad, I still have fruit, I still have veggies, but at night I'll have part of it, usually a bit marinated, or a soup that's slightly warmed with my salad. I'll compromise. So that's a great hack for anybody, and including myself. And that's probably my other greatest hack is, if you get a craving, or if I get a craving, usually it just sits around. And I know, Chris, you have a great theory about cravings that come up that you've never had to actually go through with, where you wait, is it a week? You get the craving that comes up, and you like, you know, if I still want this in a week, I'll address it then. But you like, it never really. That's you that says that, right?
Yeah, I've talked about that before, where I had a strong craving, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna look at every other way to meet this need, make sure I'm eating enough calories, enough variety, you know, that I'm enjoying my life, and you know, doing other things, not just some weird distraction. And if at the end of that week I still want that food, well, I can choose it and not you know, whip myself about it, you know. And I mean, there's another aspect of that too. If you have a specific craving, it can be beneficial to look at the nutrient kind of profile of that food and see if there's something you're missing, because something as big as true needs persists. So if you have a craving that comes up all the time, it's really good and intelligent, I think, to really look at the nutritional profile of that food. But if it's something that just comes once out of the blue, it could be something you're just clearing from your adipose, or you know, something that you didn't even recognize that you saw on a sign or a commercial, and you're like, something bells nostalgically in your head. So I think it can be really different if it's something that comes up all the time that's paid more attention to. Something that just comes up once in a complete blue moon, it might just be something you didn't even register, but it's like hitting some weird buttons in the back of your head.
Yeah, that's kind of like when I was doing really high fruit, including like at night, and hardly any greens, and just like zucchinis and cucumbers, noodles with tomato mango type things. And for months, I reckon for 10 months, all I craved was veggies and greens. And I ignored that. And to a point where my blood work reflected that, all I had to do was add in some greens and a tiny bit of sodium, and all my blood work was perfect again. And so, yeah, my body was telling me, and it wasn't a week. We're talking, this went on, you know, for months. And that was quite easy to remedy, you know, all raw. And so that worked for me. But what I was going to say is, I actually, instead of making an enemy, this is probably my greatest hack, and everyone sees me do it every day, is instead of making an enemy out of the fact that I would want certain flavors, is I make recipes from them. So I made friends with the devil almost. Like, you know, if I can eat really light, but if I want a certain flavor, like I'm craving a curry, I will just make it raw. It's usually dressing flavors most of the time, but then maybe once a week I will do a recipe, and it's based off what has been coming up for me. And that way I never really worry about cravings, because they're always dealt with. They don't even go into the realm of cooked food. So there's another hack for anyone out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you, like you said, you can really recreate any flavor and like any nostalgic kind of dish. You know, I mean, some of them may be a little bit harder, and I would say some French cuisine can be a little harder than some others. But you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And knowing this can be one of abundance, I think, is really huge to help make sure you get enough so cravings don't perk up. And you know, I just wanted to mention something kind of funny, Skye, because you were mentioning how you abstained from greens for a long period of time, and it became stronger and stronger, and then it was a huge thing that really helped you. It's funny, at one point I was relying on spinach as my staple green, and I was doing the opposite, where I was like getting sick of it, but I was feeling like, well, I should eat the spinach. So I kept on eating it day after day, even though I was kind of like getting sick of the taste of spinach. And it got to a point where I couldn't look at spinach for almost a year or two, because I had overdone it so much, you know. But all it took in that instance was switching it up for another green. It's just, you know, it kind of goes back to that intelligence of the human body, and really listening, and how much of a blessing this lifestyle is, that we've become so much more in tune with, not only our flavors and our senses, but our intuition and every other sense that we have, because we're lightening the load and, connecting more with that electricity that is everything. Right? But it's just so amazing how neglecting our intuition or our body senses can lead to some pretty crazy, pretty crazy shifts.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with watermelon. And I wonder how many people this happens. Well, I know it happens to quite a few, but I juiced, and that's went off the back of it. I'd done basically fruit and doodles and stuff for years, and then juiced, and a lot of it was watermelon. And I still have a piece of watermelon in the fridge I can't eat. Probably have to give it to Mum. I didn't have any watermelon the next season. I haven't. So it's been a year, and I was like, I'm ready to have it. And I can't. And that's what, it's like a fair warning here. If you go too hard, your body it really has learnt that it's something it just will not go near yet. That will change. I know it will change. But yes.
I don't want to scare you. But I remember in my first year of raw, so this would have been in 2000, I think it was the summer of 2005. And me and some friends went traveling to the States, and I was on a super low budget. And I bought a full case of those little finger baby bananas that, to me, those taste like you take a regular banana and you squish the flavor into a mini one. They're so strong, And I brought a whole case because I was like, this is going to help me. We're only going for 2 weeks. I have a $2 a day budget. At least I have this. We get to the border, though, crossing from Vancouver to the States. They're like, you can't bring those bananas. And I was like, oh, so I just started eating them. I was like, give me 10 minutes. And then I ate I ate 30 in 10 minutes. Still to this day, I don't like those bananas. I just don't even eat them.
See, there's a fair warning to not wear through too much of the same fruit. Because
This is the first time. This is the first time I hear that someone is rejecting to bring bananas. I mean, that's there was no seeds, right?
I don't know. I think it was just. I think it was just the person at the border who just decided, nope, you can't do that without real good reason. Because I've flown in the States before too, and they let me actually. But there was one time when I was red listed in the States, where they put me in the they put me in the waiting room, and I had an as with them. They're like, you know what? I'm not even kidding. They said this to me, you're allowed to bring those bananas, but I'm not going to let you. And he took them and threw them in the garbage in front of me. I was like, what are you doing? I couldn't believe it.
These aren't drugs. These are bananas.
But I just do want to say,
I'm hungry. It's my lunch. What are you doing? What?
But it is. I think it is important to note, because I have heard and coached many people who are like, I hate bananas now. And it's because they force them, they're like, this is the staple. I'm going to eat them every single day. And bananas are a great staple, but any food, if you start forcing it and eating it past your enjoyment, it can flip the switch and your body can be like, no, I don't like that anymore. And sometimes it's for a couple of weeks, sometimes it's for a couple of years. In my case, the baby bananas, it's been over 20. So.
I had the same with sweet melons, actually. Exactly what Guy says. The same. It's so interesting, right? I have all these sweet melons, I'm loving the melons, the yellow one and the piel de sapo, and I'm enjoying them. And at some point, I'm getting these weird histamine reactions, where's this coming from? And then I take another one. So okay, I'll buy Gallia this week. And that's even worse. I'm like, oh no. And I just feel so sick from it. I don't want to eat that anymore. This is actually the first, I had this watermelon for 3 weeks and it's still amazing. So actually I was really worried that I couldn't eat this watermelon anymore. But yeah.
That's why we're blessed by seasons, eh? We're blessed by seasons. That's why we're blessed by seasons, and Mother Nature continually offering us new things. Hey, try this,
Yeah.
But yesterday I got sick on grapes. So
yeah, but then usually I notice that by the end of the season, when they're just so many of them and then they're starting to go off really quickly, is you're like, I'm never going to eat another grape. And then you hit a new season, right? You're going through all the apples and pears and bananas, and then you're like, you're going through the watermelons and the mangoes and you're like, oh my God, I miss grapes. But like, you're so right. And when they come on with such a bang. It's like, but it's interesting. Like, and it's like this relationship we have with like, source and God and our own intelligence inside us. But that's how it mostly works for foods. But I think I really wore it. And, I had a blood sugar issue off the back of that, which corrected when I had more greens. But I just wonder how much my body has hold on to. It's like, don't you get, sick, whatever I did to it. The watermelon is a no-no. And it was from juicing it, so it still won't let me eat it. But there's plenty of other fruit I can eat.
Yeah. I've also found it very interesting that Chris mentioned the spinach. Because this is like, if I go 2 weeks without spinach, I don't do that on purpose, right? I just buy when I feel like it, when I'm in the supermarket or in the market or something. And like, oh, spinach, I haven't had that for so long. It's like 2 weeks or something. And this is like, I just love spinach. I just take the spinach, I blend it, I eat it with a spoon. Sometimes I add some coconut to make it spinach a la crème. And that's it. I just love spinach. And then there's like, you should eat the salad. You should eat the cabbage. You should eat cauliflower. And I'm looking at all those things. I'm like, yeah, you know what? These rules, I'm going to eat spinach.
There is no shoulds, right? There isn't. We can should ourselves to death way too easily, And I want to share a spinach recipe because Wendy, if you try this out, I want to hear what you think because it used to be one of my favorites. And I'm pretty sure the winter that I got kind of over spinach was because I was making this for dinner almost every day for a winter. I would take those little like easy peel mandarin oranges and I'd blend those. And then I'd blend as much spinach into that as I could till it literally got thick, like not runny, like almost pudding, but not quite. And then I'd pour that over a bowl of grapes. It sounds really weird, but that was my favorite meal for like a whole winter. It was just like, wow. But eventually it was too much because I was going spinach crazy for that whole winter.
I love it. I love it. I never had it with the grapes, but did the spinach with the mandarin or the orange. Yes, yeah. I love that too.
Try it over because it's fun to chew it because then also you chew really, really well then. So you're mixing all the greens and everything up, but it's super dense and super satisfying. And like a bowl this size for me, it's got probably a pound of spinach and like 8 or 9 oranges and like a pack of grapes, and it's like compact and flavorful and really satiating.
Interesting. I wonder why we all like, I love baby spinach, like love baby spinach, even though it's higher in histamines. I can be histamine sensitive. It doesn't really affect me too much. It's the one food that I can add to any fruit meal and just love it. Like, just be like, this is a full, like now it's a full meal. Just, you have your fruit and you've got some greens. I wonder if it's because it's so digestible and you're getting some extra minerals. Because every other food that I add, yes, I love it, but nothing is digest. Or besides microgreens, but you can't really get them here and I don't grow them. Like spinach for me really satisfies me. Like if I need spinach, I can sometimes get a bag and just have it down and it'll be the most satisfying thing ever.
Yeah, it's so dang. I remember one time I got like the best quality spinach ever. Where it almost seems like a succulent, like they're thick and they could almost like crack and they're just really, really savory. And I remember going to a movie theater with this bag of spinach I got from the farmer's market and eating them like chips and like almost feeling like I was eating chips. They're so savory and good, But crap spinach is just like, nah. But great spinach. I mean, but that's the same for every produce item, right?
I was about to say, that's like, I think, and that's when people like think about going raw vegan and they're like, I could not do it. But in their brain, they're thinking of the oranges, apples, and bananas they grew up with, which sat on their bench for like 3 weeks, right? Or the like poor effort of salad, which they got, which is just a little bit of lettuce and onion, but then it's so different when you get good, amazing produce.
Yeah.
I don't think anything can change my spinach, that I'm a spinach fan. It can give me all the YouTube telling me I shouldn't have whatever it is.
Look, there's a
Upset.
YouTube video on every fruit and vegetable out there telling you a reason you shouldn't have it. So you
Yeah.
find that fruit and vegetable, and if you need it, have it.
Yeah, but
Just
I
don't
do
make it
know
the only thing you ever have, because that's when I think problems happen. If you have bits of everything, you're fine.
I do notice the same as you. Like when I was, since I got pregnant with her. Oh, you guys stop.
We'll talk, and I was actually going to say,
talk to you.
hey, Alana.
Hello.
So every since I got pregnant with her, I still have it because I'm still breastfeeding sometimes. I still have this really craving for green stuff, and just a blender full of spinach would solve the problem.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Yeah, but it's just fast and easy. It's just you take the bag, you stuff it in, you push it on, you eat it, it's done. And you see how much I have to get up and like clean and take her out, and like I'm running all the day behind her. So yeah, I had a cauliflower the other day with really nice dressing from hemp and mustard seeds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I did add some onion, I think, and some ginger. It was very spicy, but it was really good. And at the end, it wasn't sweet enough, so I did add the blueberries that Alana was talking about,
It sounds so good.
and it became purple.
Well, but you could have had purple cauliflower, but you made the dressing that way. I was actually going to bring up, what should we do for the theme next month? How do we hide the greens? Because usually at the end we discuss this was like kids' party food. I think it came up as a theme because we were talking about it last time. But what should the theme be for next month?
That could be fun.
Greens in general?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. What's an idea for a theme?
Like it's becoming winter here. The tomatoes are all getting potato disease. Like
What?
we are gonna have to eat topinambour soon.
Oh yeah, topinambour is great. Yeah, because I've got so many.
Be careful, Kiko. They will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and then
I know. Yeah, I try to remove it, and it's growing, but they're beautiful. I'll see what I can do, but yeah, the roots just stays. I thought I did everything, but it's just now.
no, it will never get away. It will never get out. It will stay, and it's an awesome food. Like it's so healthy. It's got all this inulin in it. I think it's just strange that it isn't growing everywhere, and that it's so expensive in the store, because whole of north of Europe could just eat it all winter and be happy and healthy. And
What are you talking about? Which green?
The sun artichoke?
Yeah, it's it's not green actually.
Yeah.
Topinambour.
I don't know this, but the one like the leaves, or like in the ground, the sunchoke itself, or which are you talking about?
Yeah, the sunchoke.
Okay. Yeah, those are crunchy and sweet. I remember when I was on an anti-candida diet, I was only allowed those and Granny Smith apples for kind of sweet tasting things. And I ate a lot of sunchokes, but I don't see them up here almost ever.
Yeah, you don't want to eat too many leaves. There is one compound in there that can be very irritating.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's should not really be a meal or something.
How did you eat the leaves, Chris?
No, I never ate the leaves. I just ate the sunchokes themselves from stores, but I don't know how to identify the plant, so I've never seen the leaves. But I used to I worked at an organic grocer in Vancouver in the early 2000s, and they had sunchokes on the shelf, and I was going through a lot of them because they were really tasty. And I was at that time before raw food battling candida, and I was told those were something I could eat that was sweet, and I was a sweet hound. But yeah.
If Skye has an extra minute, I can show you.
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm very interested. I didn't even know you did an anti-candida diet. How long did you do it for?
I did various different ones, to be honest, but the one where I was eating the sunchokes and Granny Smith apples and bowls full of cabbage with no dressing, it wasn't very enjoyable. I tried to do that for 2 weeks, but then I bonked and binged on anything and everything vegan to get my hands on. And it actually caused a major reaction where my eyes glued shut. I woke up and I couldn't open my eyes because I was detoxing yellow pus from my eye. And they literally glued shut. I had to chip them off and open my eyes. And my eyes were beet red. And that was the last kind of alternative style kind of candida cleanse I ever did. I was taking grapefruit seed extract and oregano oil and doing this really stringent, no fat, no sugar protocol. And it really did backfire for me. And it wasn't until I found the no fat high food that really cured that issue, or brought it into balance, I guess is more accurate. But
yeah.
I had
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we got a hello.
Did you just pick it up from your garden?
Yeah, you see that
No, she
high
stole it
plant in
from
the
the
back?
neighbor.
The Wi-Fi
Oh.
doesn't go further.
So like, how's the roots? Do you already have a roots?
Yeah, of course. They're having roots, yeah.
Can I see it?
Well, that would be kind of difficult.
No, the one that you have. Can you just?
No, I
put
just
it-
cracked it.
Oh, you just okay. But
Yeah, no, I would really have to get a shovel and like there's also tomatoes there and chives and oregano, so I have to be a little bit careful digging them out.
They don't die when you crack it like that.
Oh no,
When
this will never die. Like it's topinambour. They will keep growing in your garden till forever. It's really difficult to get rid of.
I know.
really difficult.
I know.
So
they have a beautiful flower. The yellow flower looks like a mini sunflower.
I never had that.
Really?
No, because I just have them now here for the first year.
Ah, okay, got it.
And I just bought it in spring. I throw it in the garden, just one, and it grows this whole bush.
Yeah.
So you eat those things, you just don't eat a lot. What you're saying, like you can eat some, but you just don't want to go crazy on them and make salads of them.
The roots you can eat a lot, but the leaves you don't want to do that.
How do you eat the leaves? Do you put it in a?
I don't, because it's not.
Oh, you don't eat all. Okay.
Never. You never.
No, it's just not very good for you. I mean, I can do it like right now, like it will not kill me, but it's really tough. It doesn't have a great flavor. It's like it's got hairs on it.
It's kind of indicating if you're kind of repulsed by a plant, I kind of think you're not supposed to eat it. Like it's God really saying it's hairy, it's chunky, it's not for me.
But when you have a need for bitter, like let's say there is something with your liver, you want to start your digestion, like terpentine. I don't know how it's called in English. Terpentinen, it's in Dutch. They're in dandelion and stuff as well. So if you feel, I need to, you could just pick a little leaf and chew it like I just did, and the bitterness comes in your mouth, and this will help your body start making those juices for digestion. So that's not a problem, but I wouldn't necessarily say, I would not at all say actually that it's it's not a plan to make a meal.
Speaking, told it to me, Wendy.
Yeah, speaking of the greens, I don't know. Next topic could be your favorite dressing.
Well, what I was going to suggest is because Europe is going into winter, did you guys, and I know it helps a lot of people, and do you want to do your favorite winter recipes or winter
that would be
cuisine?
Great.
Because I think that will help people watching, and plus when you're going into it, you guys are thinking about it more.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sound?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it already. I'm thinking, my winter recipe is eating kakis and orange.
What is it? Eating what?
Kaki, the persimmons.
Persimmons.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go all winter on persimmons and orange.
But you know,
Well,
I
that-
love persimmons, but they make your bodies colder. I have to be very careful because I mean, yeah, the persimmon needs to be controlled. I can't stop eating them, but I do feel my body gets cold.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never noticed that. That's interesting.
Never thought about
Any
it.
variety too? Do you find any variety, the hachio or the fuyu?
I feel any except the one like if I do not dehydrating, but fuyu that you just keep it outside to dry it. Okay, there's a persimmon that looks like this that you have to wait until it's really, really mushy, and otherwise it's very bitter. That variety in Japan, we keep it in the balcony for a few months and we sun dry it. So if I do that, I don't get cold. But if I eat like any kind of persimmon, I do feel cold. But I mean, I eat a lot. I get so I don't know.
Kiko, can I ask, is it just persimmons, or is there other foods where you notice you get really cold? Other raw foods?
I mean, like obvious one, that's watermelon, but it's okay. It's a summer food, so it's okay. But yeah, the winter food, we are very careful in Japan. Like we're careful on certain fruits making us feel colder than others. So I try to balance it out. So cacao powder is great because that keeps our body warm. So cacao and kaki pudding.
So
Yeah.
Chris has
Like
nailed that.
Yeah.
All right, so are we good to do like a winter?
Yay!
Our favorite winter recipe or a winter food next month?
That sounds great. Thanks for the suggestions.
All right, well, we'll do that. I'll put it in the group. And thank you, everyone who joined us. Thank you, Wendy, Chris, Kiko, and
Thank you.
Lila and Alana who left.
Thank you so much.
And Alina there. Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. See you soon.
And we'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.